Hello, good evening. This is Brother Benson Media, and today is Friday. We are blessed to have this opportunity to have a conversation, of course, conversation that is geared towards the betterment of our country. I want to take this opportunity to welcome you all and to remind you that this is Brother Benson Media. And here we say that your opinion counts. If you are new or watching us for the first time, kindly like and subscribe to the channel. It is a way of supporting us na sisi hapa tutasema ni asante. Miguda, would you kindly confirm if I'm clear enough? Am I clear?
You are clear, very clear.
Miguda, am I clear?
You are very clear.
Okay, thank you so much. Allow me to acknowledge the presence of Brenda Obedi at the comment section. Thank you so much, Brenda, for finding time to join us this evening. And I'm urging all our viewers, if you are new, kindly just communicate with us at the comment section. Utuambie, how has been wiki yako imekuwaje, mahali ulipo na unatarajia yapi tukielekea ama tukiingia wikendi. Unaweza tuambia at the comment section and sisi hapa tutasema ni asante. Miguda, I'll give you a chance to say hi to our viewers before we get into the topic of today.
Hello. Hope you are doing fine. And our viewers are also doing fine. Just want to welcome them to the show and hope that we're going to have a very good conversation that is there to improve our governance and policies making. Back to you, Makubur.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Miguda. And I'll get straight to the topic of today. And as it reads, political zoning versus democracy. And the question is, are secret pacts killing voters' confidence? This is part of the conversation that we want to have tonight. And the reason why we want to have this conversation is we've seen a lot is going on in the field of politics. We are seeing a lot of political zoning where ahead of 2027, and this is something that we need to discuss as a people so that we get to understand what really does it mean for the people of Kenya. Is it something that is benefiting the people of Kenya, or is it something that is benefiting the political parties? Political zoning is something that we've seen in the Republic of Kenya. And again, we are seeing it today. I mean, in these periods, remember we are headed towards Kenya. We are supposed to be having around 27 by elections or 20 something by elections, and among part of these constituencies or these wards, we are seeing a lot of political zoning where certain political parties are joining hands and collaborating with certain political parties, and of course with an aim of trying to exclude other political parties, or in with an aim of uh, winning, or of course that is the bigger thing that they're doing. So that is part of what we want to discuss here tonight. And of course the democracy that comes with it. When we see this political zoning, what does it mean? Is it democracy really? Because democracy gives the people a chance to evaluate and to have several options. With this political zoning coming in, is it really a democratic way of doing things? That is part of what we want to ask, and whether it is beneficial, just like I did say, to the masses, or it is beneficial to the political party leaders or the political parties. That is part of what we want to discuss tonight. And allow me to acknowledge the presence of our good friend Douglas Kibogong and the comment section. Thank you so much, Douglas, for finding time to join us, as well as Brenda Obedi. And of course, Mr. Migura, what is your take? What does it mean? What is it that what does it mean, Mr. Buddha? Tonight, of course, we are diving into a political strategy that is quietly actually shaping Kenya's future. The political zoning. Is it a smart move for unity or a betrayal of democracy? Mr. Miguda, political zoning is when, from my understanding, is when parties agree not to compete in certain region. It's not meant to avoid, to avoid vote splitting, but it is meant to strengthen coalitions. But critics says it limits voter choice and promote tribal politics. What is your take, Miguda?
Thank you. Political zoning, to me, I can say sometimes it promotes coalitions, arrangements, or sometimes it promotes unity among the coalitions. But on the other hand, I would like to differ because you find out whenever people have come out to participate in a poll, there are so many intentions that might be pushing somebody to contest. The person might have identified a certain gap within the community or society where he or she want to represent. The society may as well identify some gaps and they have made a decision that the only person who can articulate our issues and give us proper representation is person XYZ. When an opportunity presented itself, like right now, the by-elections, whereby it allow people to contest and also give people an opportunity to contest either ideologically or based on different grounds. You call it manifesto. When people decide to have a coalition whereby some parties have decided to front one candidate in the name of zoning and dubbed it as the opposition candidate, it's a way of they can do it so that they can contain their opponent because they understand that if we have so many candidates from one coalition and maybe the opponent has declared one candidate, the opponent will have a field day and the other team might split votes amongst themselves and enable the opponent to pass through. But you find also there are some circumstances, even if you field one candidate, the opponent still pass through. The argument could be, from my view, there is undermining of democracy because we are in a democratic society. There are reasons why I can make a decision to run for a certain seat because it could be compelling pressure from the society. And I might be the front runner, but sometimes you might decide as a coalition to have your preference, who is not front runner. Not only undermining democratic exercise, but also destroying someone's political visions and ambitions. It can be taken rightfully that Kenyans at large are at liberty to participate in a democratic exercise like polls. The very way voters do participate in the polling station is the very way anybody who wishes to contest should be guaranteed to do so. In my understanding, I come to realize that there are certain circumstances whereby politicians are selfish in the name of zoning. And by doing so, personally, I view it as denying some people opportunity to do what is permitted by the law. Because there is nowhere in the constitution, in the political rights, that dictate that you must do zoning. The political right is guaranteed to an individual. The political right is not guaranteed to a group of people or coalitions. As a law-abiding citizen, I have a right individually, solely, to participate in that exercise. Anybody or coalition or party that want me to postpone my ambition, that is doing contrary to my wishes, I have a duty to respond to them. And that's what has happened in Mbeere North. The DCP candidate has responded to them by going to Chama cha Kazi because, in his own wisdom, he believed that is a forerunner. I conclude by saying, even though people tend to have zonings and other forms of affiliates, the people, the person, still enjoys that political right of contesting for any elective seat without being decided by a party or a coalitions or leaders. You are at liberty to an extent that you can even vie as well on an independent ticket. That's the provision of the law. Back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Miguda. And something else is, political zoning is something that we've always seen. And remember, we at a point where we're having a pre-election strategy where parties divide region amongst themselves. Currently, we are seeing what we call we're seeing the zoning. We've seen an agreement between ODM and UDA where they have agreed not to field candidates in UDA stronghold and vice versa. We are seeing agreements even in other region where DCP are also having agreements uh, that they are not supposed to field candidates in Wiper's stronghold, in DCP stronghold, and that is part of what we saw in Mbeere North. We are seeing quite a number. We saw the same in Malava, but of course Malava one I'll actually come with a question to you. And of course, this is something that is often done behind closed doors without public input. And the question I'm asking is, where are we headed as a country, and why do we boast of enjoying being in a country where we're enjoying democracy if matters are being addressed, agreements are being made behind the closed door? I don't know if you remember yesterday, if you watched news, what was happening in Malava, where a candidate, for example, was supposed candidates were supposed to go for um, party primaries. They were supposed to be taken through that so that they can come. Maybe the winner would win and get the opportunity and maybe be given the political ticket. And he was surprised when he saw his competitor given or handed a direct ticket. And the question he was asking is, where is the democracy? Why didn't they see that decision being taken before the people and the people making that decision? And so the question I'm asking you is this really what our democracy, the one that is in the constitution, talks about? We've seen, for example, in Nigeria, uh, where zoning has actually affected quite a number of operations within the Nigeria. I don't know whether you are aware of that. We've seen, you know, zoning is used in Nigeria to rotate power between regions. And the question is, you find that there are some regions that are waiting for long to get what we call development, especially if their person or the person who comes where they come from are not in power. And that is part of the reason why you find that in certain parts of the Nigeria, some parts are very wealthy. People are very wealthy. Life is very good. But you go to other parts, people are really suffering. In Kenya, zoning is becoming common ahead of course, the by-elections that we are seeing, and even in 2027. What is your take? What is your take, Mr. Miguda, on this? And how is it actually going to affect the democracy? And not just the democracy. How is it going to affect the development of certain areas? Because the mentality we are currently seeing in Kenya is that if I have supported you, then I will receive what we call I will receive developments. But once I decide that I'm leaving your pact or I'm leaving you, I'll not receive what we call developments. And this is what has been brought by the zoning. Remember Rigathi Gachagua having left the president, because he left, he has been crying, and sometimes he has even said that he's not receiving, or those people who are supporting him are not receiving development. And it has been said, of course, that currently the supporters of Raila who has joined the government are currently receiving what we call developments. Is that really true? And if that is the path that we are headed to as a country, are we really going to have a country that people would love to be in? Miguda.
The future of our politics is coalition. And from the history, you find out that most of the formation of our governance, they have been formed on the coalition. From NAC, from the coalition government, from Jubilee, the UDA, the URPN TNA, and lastly Jubilee, and currently Kenya Kwanza. And even opposition has been Azimio, NASA, COD. It has been of coalition agreement. That is a clear indication that our politics are being informed by the coalition agreements between parties because of the nature of our cultural ethnicity, whereby we are diverse as a state, and most importantly, we are a multi-party democracy. The fact that we are a multi-party democracy and we are diverse, it gives rooms for coalitions arrangements. I agree with you that there have been a challenge in Nigeria when it comes to the coalition and the rotational. There is a problem with the system currently because coalitions tend to put zoning, but at the interest of the regions. For instance, in Ukambani, they'll only favor the Wiper. In Luo Nyanza, it only favored ODM. In Rift Valley, it only favored UDA. And partly in Mount Kenya, it can favor DCP as per the status quo. To me, zoning denies people an opportunity to present themselves to the electorates. If you allow zoning and not allow infiltration or penetration of any political party other than the regional political party to coexist. First, you are undermining democracy. Secondly, you are denying people opportunity to participate in that exercise and also to air their divergent opinion. It's like you are creating regions. You are creating regions, political parties. And if I want to contest, I must just belong to the political party for me to be zoned against other people. That one, I disagree. On a lighter note, that it undermines democracy. When you talked about the issue whereby the former deputy president has stated explicitly that currently the president is taking development to Luo Nyanza, to be precise. That one, I just want to disagree with him because we should have an honest discussion. When it comes to equality, we should have an honest discussion as a country, more so when it comes to equality from discrimination. Before shouting at the development in Luo Nyanza, let's have a pause and discuss about the development which were initiated, the developments which were instituted by the former President Uhuru Kenyatta. For example, the Mau Mau roads. Were there no roads in the country? Why was it so urgent and important to construct the Mau Mau roads and other parts of the country were not constructed? That's why if we want to bring the issue of currently there is a developer in Nyanza because they are affiliated to William Ruto, we will need to have a very sober and a very honest discussion as a people of the country. But the bottom line is we are all subjected to the right of equality. We are all equal and free from discrimination. Each and every person, not each and every region, but each and every person has equal right and benefit before the law. When the people of Nyanza are receiving development today, every Kenyan should receive that development, irrespective of where you voted, where you came from. The good news is the Luo people never voted for William Ruto, and they are receiving developments. It should be that way. Not that it should go for the people who voted for him. It should be across. It should be spread across the country. And when people of Central was receiving Mau Mau roads, people were quiet. Equality and free from discrimination should be a subject of discussion and honesty and sobriety, because it also forms our Article 27 of the Constitution of Kenya. Equality and free from discrimination. Each and every person must have benefit of the law.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Allow me to read some few comments here from our good friend Douglas. Douglas is saying, is there something called zoning? Okay. I wish I was in Kenya those days, Bwana. As presiding officer, you can vote without voting. I don't know what he means. Ask after being identified by items kit in the boot, who votes for ceased votes? I don't know what he means. Does zoning vote or individual? Hey, didn't say zoning in the ballot. Douglas, Bwana Douglas, Bwana Douglas, Bwana. Kuwa serious, Bwana Douglas. Anyway, thank you so much, Douglas, for finding time and giving us your view at the comment section. We really appreciate. To our viewers, of course, this is Brother Benson Media, and here we say that your opinion counts. Mr. Miguda, if parties decide who runs where, you as a Kenyan, what happens to your votes? And something else that I would also want you to count, to give your take on is zoning can reduce competition, leading to weaker candidates. I think that is one thing that we have to agree to. We've always seen part of the reason why Kenyans are suffering today is because of things to do with zoning, because it has always reduced competition and they've always given someone that they want. The political parties has always given someone that they want, but not someone that the people want. That has always led to weaker candidates. It may, let me not use the word it may, it has always also excluded youths, women, and independent candidates from running. That's a fact. See what is happening in Malava. See what is happening in Kasepul. See what is happening in Bere. What is your take on that? It also risks turning elections into tribal endorsements, but not merit based contest. And that is something that I think we also need to agree with, because we've seen in certain areas tribe is also being elevated and people are given tickets based on the relationship that they have with the party leader, but not really based on merit, not really based on what someone can deliver. Miguda, what is your take? And tell us, if the political parties decide who runs where, what then happens to you as a Kenyan voter, Miguda?
First, when zoning is done, it reduces competition. That one I can confirm, because people will bolt out, and now because you find that most of the coalitions in agreement will rally their support behind the zoned candidate, and that will reduce competition and undermine democracy. When you talk the issue of nominations, I can report to you authoritatively that from honest view of it, party decides who gets a ticket, not the people. The people might have the veto to participate in the primaries. You have seen cases. I just want to give you some few citations. In Nandi Hills constituency, during the UDA by-elections, Alfred Keter won. He was given certificate. Then later, his certificate was cancelled, and a different person certificate was inserted into the portal. The voters decided that it was supposed to be Alfred Keter, but the party made a decision that it is not Alfred Keter. There are times whereby it can be done that way, and also parties can decide on various ways to carry out their primaries. In the case of consensus, you call candidates and settle on one candidate. You could have undermined democracy, because people have not even voted. It is the party who have come to consensus that it is so and so. It means the people have been denied opportunity to participate in that primary. When you look at another formula, they can give direct tickets. that in a particular area we have issued direct ticket citing reasons which are reasonable. And sometimes they can decide to have their electronic gadget. You are an IT expert, you understand what I'm saying. If we can have our electronic gadget into polling stations in the name of iPad, then we insert the electoral names and we insert the mark whereby if I've identified a voter to be belonging to my political party, then permits him or her to cast his ballot through virtual. What happens? You understand programming? We might program the machine to give us candidates of our choice from MCA to governor. The people have just participated, but the machine has decided, has made a decision. With those three citations, I'm persuaded beyond reasonable doubt that the party decides who carries the party ticket in various elective positions, not the people. And that's why, and that's why most of the time you find that people do say that if the party have already given us the people they wanted, why must we vote in the general election? Because it's like the party has already decided for us the MCA, the MP, the governor, the women, the senator. Therefore, there is no need for people to participate into the general election. And that's why in our general election, if you look at the statistics, there have been a decline in the turnout. Turnout has been declining each and every election. And the recent one, the Gen Z and the millennials never turn out in large number, and they are the future. If the future can't turn out to vote in large number, the future is as well as white and black that people have lost faith into the party primaries because of the historical events. And going forward, we need to restore that trust deficit between the public, between the electorates, and the party. And in the forthcoming by-elections, we ought to have seen a scenario whereby the electorates were permitted an opportunity to participate in primaries, because most of these candidates, they are a result of consensus, they're a result of direct tickets. The people were never allowed to participate into these primaries. And during that time of election, the people might turn out to vote based on perception from the leaders. That's why we need to have, and I'm insisting that as a Kenyan people, these by-elections are gone now because there are no primaries. We have candidates. The 2027 elections, different political parties should allow the electorates to participate actively into primaries by electing a candidate of their choice amongst the names submitted, or the people submitted their names to participate in this by-election. Through that, they could have restored the trust deficit between the party and the electorates, and people can turn out in large number to vote in 2027 elections, the general election. That's how you can restore. And the only way to rebrand ODM, the way I told you, ODM can still be rebranded. The only way to rebrand ODM is to promise free, fair, square, transparent primaries and also make it a reality that even the Vigogo, if they lost, they lost. With that one, you will attract the future population, Gen and millennials, and you create more membership. And even people will come out in light to vote in the general election. That's one of the way to rebrand ODM because people are saying it's high time to rebrand the party. But the reality is rebranding through free, fair election. Right now, the people who are there, they are fear free, fair election because they are used to direct tickets, they are used to consensus, they are used to electronic programming.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Miguda, for giving us your take on that. And something else that I want you to give your view on is just on the same topic, the political zoning. Who really benefits and who doesn't? We've seen cases where political party elites benefit by what we call securing safe zones. Raila's benefited from that. Ruto has benefited from that. Jubilee, Uhuru Kenyatta, benefited from that. But the question something that we're also seeing is voters are losing the power to choose from a full slate of leaders or candidates. And that is part of the reason why people went for demonstration, Mr. Miguda. You know, we've seen instances where serious candidates have presented themselves before the people, but the people cannot get the opportunity to elect them because a certain party that has zoned their area because the party leader is coming from that area or so has decided and given a direct ticket. What is your take on that? And then what we've also seen political parties, the smaller political parties, and those majority. I can give you a good example. We've seen very good politicians. Remember in what happened for the former member of parliament of I'm forgetting the constituency, Mr. Keter. I don't know if you remember Keter. And he was actually not given a ticket because he was having his own say. He was having his own stance. And remember the frustration he went through. As much as he won the primaries of UDA, he was denied the ticket. And for that reason, he was not elected. If suppose he decides to come up with a political party, we've seen smaller parties and the new voices being locked out, and they cannot really get the opportunity to prosper. And the question I'm asking, Mr. Miguda, from my understanding, I'm seeing a situation where when zoning replaces democracy, then elections become selections. What is your take on who really benefits and who doesn't? Is it the people or the political parties, Miguda?
When selections become the order of the day, that's what I was telling you. The people do lose hope because of what they have experienced in primaries. And to that extent, some people do not turn out to vote because of the experience with the party. And the people are saying that because the party has selected for us candidates, there's no need for election because already they have done the election. Why should we participate in an election which has been done in the primaries? And that's why you find out there have been voter apathy. The voter apathy is not by design or coincidence. It is as a result of lacking faith into the primaries by the people. After primaries, the losers are the people, the beneficiaries are the political class because their interest has been served perfectly by selecting their sycophants, by selecting their loyalists, and by selecting their praise and worship choir. They have really benefited. And you understand that is how politics works. And there's no room whereby you will want them not to work that way because, like the issue I've cited, the issue of Keter. Keter was a thorn in the flesh of William Ruto. How could you allow him to rise? And he was a rebel within. You have to ensure that you cut his heads as early as in primaries. And right now, he is where he is. The people are losers, and the people are losers either way, even in elections. So, as a citizen of the Republic of Kenya or as a voter, you need to understand your role and you need to understand that you have placed the system. The system has placed you to be where you are because of the structure that's been put in place. That's why I'm telling you, going forward, we can have a very good discussion like we are having right now. But in the reality, it cannot be achieved because the masses move with what the party has said. The masses will not move with the idea. The masses will move with the current happenings of the politics, like broad base. That's what they hear, and it's about masses. So you find out the masses will not have time to give you a listening here. It must be handled in a very quickest manner to allow it to be the way it is. That the system they have created. They create a system to ensure that they retain that power and that authority for eternity from one generation to the other. That's why I just want to respond to you by saying the people are the losers, not the leaders in either contest.
Okay, thank you, Miguda, for your take. And maybe my last two or three questions that I would also want you to give your take on is as a Kenyan, Mr. Miguda, do you support political zoning if it helps defeat the ruling party as we are currently being told? Should voters have a say in zoning agreements, Mr. Miguda? Is zoning tribalism in disguise, Mr. Miguda? What is your take?
My take is very
I can repeat.
simple and
I
very
can repeat. I can repeat the questions if uh, if you didn't get it clearly. Can
I got it
I?
very
Or you've
clearly.
gotten it very well.
I got it very I got it very clearly, and I just want to have a very fast response because when zoning is done, first, Makobura, it's about politics. And then in a scenario whereby it benefits me or it benefits you, you can deem fit that zoning is quite good and interesting because the entire brigade will come to campaign for you in your region. And when it doesn't fit you, you will cry for democracy. You will yearn for that democracy. And I can say about conveniency and inconveniency. When it's convenient with you, you'll support it. But generally, I do not support zoning because it limits the democratic participation of other leaders. Maybe out of that space, a very noble leader can emerge, but he has been blocked by zoning. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't hear you say or give your take on should voters have a say in zoning agreement? Miguda?
Voters can't have a say in a zoning agreement because how will you know the proportion of voters? In the case of Mbere, how will you know that these voters are in opposition and these voters are not in opposition? Because voters are mixed. You can't have a measurement to know that these kind of voters are in opposition. But now when we are doing zoning, you come to represent voters, or you voters have a say on zoning. Maybe the voters who are having a say on zoning in opposition are the same very voters who will have a say on zoning in the UDA, which is the regime party. That's why I don't think a voter should have a say in the zoning, because the proportionality of a voter is not
Miguda, I
defined.
think the sense can you get me? I think
Yeah, I can get
this
you.
is what I meant when I asked should voters have a say in zoning agreement. This is what I meant. Let me give you an example of what is happening currently in Kasipul. We've seen quite a number of candidates coming out, but the signals are clear that only one individual will be given the direct ticket. There's a high probability that they're not going to be taken through the party primaries so that they can evaluate who is proper. So that is one of the questions I'm asking you. And we've seen we've seen some candidates coming with independent. We've seen some candidates going or joining other political parties because they feel that they're not being given the opportunity to fight each other, and possibly whoever wins is to then be given the ticket. What they're experiencing is they do not know what is going to happen next. And of course, that area is currently zoned as ODM zone. So, meaning if I was a candidate in Kasipul and I'm unable to get the ticket for ODM, I cannot even join another party and possibly be given an opportunity. Even if I'm liked, even if I have what it takes, I should not. Let's say I was in UDA, for example. I should not then vie because that area is zoned. It is ODM zone. That is what I mean, and that is why I'm asking you, Mr. Miguda. Does it then mean that voters should not have a say in zoning? Because if it is then locked that this is a particular zone for a certain party, then the people do not have a say. They only have to vote for whoever the party has bring forth. What is your take on that?
Not they have to vote for the person the party has bring forth. At the ballot, it's secret. You can decide to vote for the person who has not been brought by the party. But I wanted to say, the question is very clear. I've now got you. But Marco Bura, the voters, that's why we have primaries. That's where the voters can have a say. But when there is zoning, it means now the voters' hand has been tied by the political party. But because the voter should have a say, like what I've told you, in zoning, they should have a say, but they don't have a say. That's what I understand. They should have a say, but they don't have a say. And that's why we are saying undermine democracy. Because they should have a say, there's no say. And furthermore, they need to have participated in primaries. By participating, they communicate. But now the zoning has come. So I can just tell you that zoning, to me, voters don't have a say, but they should have a say.
Very well. Thank you. There was, I don't know if you gave your view on whether you support the political zoning if it helps defeat the ruling party. And again, is zoning tribal or tribal in disguise? Is it tribal in the sense that, for example, I'm vying for a certain seat in a certain constituency, and let me give you another example, just with the same. With Kasipul still. Let me say that, of course, we have ODM, we have the UDA, and because ODM is dominated in the Luo Nyanza region, and we've seen that the ODM is currently working with the UDA, and if if ODM comes and says that this is our zone, and tunaweka mtu yetu, and UDA suppose they also have a candidate, they are then being locked out because they are working together and being told that this is our area. You are not supposed to bring somebody from, you're not supposed to support a candidate. And then suppose we also go to the area where the party leader of UDA comes from, and there we also maybe have an election. ODM would then be blocked as well and told that, you know what, this is UDA's stronghold. We are not going to allow ODM. What is your take, Migoda? Is zoning tribal in discuss? Migoda? Migoda, are you there? Okay, thank you so much. Allow me to acknowledge the presence of Laban Misiani at the comment section. Laban is saying, if people are partless, they belong to independent. Leave ODM alone to decide. Laban, for your information, I'm not in any way speaking about a certain political party. I'm simply giving examples. So kindly don't pick my examples wrongly. We are having a general conversation, and I'm not in any way speaking about a particular party. Miguda? Miguda, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, proceed. Miguda, I can't. I don't know whether your internet is okay or not. Miguda? Hello? Okay. Thank you so much. Allow me to once again appreciate our viewers for finding time to join us this evening. We really appreciate, and it is a good move that we are seeing progress. First, I want to, of course, acknowledge and to say a big thank you to all those people who have supported us, those who have subscribed to our channel, those who have commented, those who have been actively engaging us. We don't take it for granted. We really, really say a big thank you for your consistent support. And for that reason, Laban, thank you so much. Douglas, thank you so much. Also, Brenda Obedi, thank you so much. And everyone who is watching us, I want to take this opportunity. I can also see Tony Cruz, Austin Okumu, Onyulo Ward Nyasai. Thank you so much for finding time to join us and to give us your comment. We don't take it for granted. We really, really appreciate. And of course, what we are discussing today is the political zoning versus democracy, where we've seen several instances when political parties have always zoned certain areas and they've always said that those areas are their areas, and people should not. I mean, other political parties should not come and field candidates. Miguda, are you back? Kindly
I'm back.
proceed.
I'm back, and I was saying when zoning can assist to remove a bad regime in power, when zoning can aid to get rid of the rogue regime, I support that one. But it should be a zoning for a purpose, whereby this zoning democracy, human rights, social justice, equality, inclusivity, if it is that is the purpose and the intent and the practical part of it, then I can support that one. But if it's zoning of tribe, whereby tribalism, that one I'm opposed to it. So up to now, it depends on which zoning. If it's zoning for the tribal or for the purpose, be it, because zoning is also part of the, like I've told you, is part of the coalition arrangements. You can arrange to zone. Those are part of the coalition. Or you can arrange to split. It's been decided at the secretariat. So the secretariat has got that veto to decide. I think that's how I can respond that question.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Miguda. And maybe my last question would be, what is next for Kenya? And we, with the consistency in the zoning that we are seeing, I think the question I'll ask you, Migura, is will zoning shape the 2027 election? And what is your take, as per what the Constitution says, on matters of democracy and giving the people an opportunity to make decisions, of course, based on or anchored on what democracy talks about? Should IEBC regulate or ban the zoning deals? Can youth, can the youths and the civil societies push back, Miguda? And yeah, I think you can give us your take on that, and then we'll just give final remarks.
First, zoning cannot be terminated by the IBC. Zoning cannot be pushed by the youths or the other electorates. Like I've told you, the future of our politics, Kenya in the future, we are added to coalition arrangements, because what informs the coalition arrangement is the diverse nature of our country. We are permanently diverse. There's no day we will be not diverse. We are permanently diverse. The permanent position diverse. And that alone informs the coalition arrangements for the inclusivity purposes. That is the future of Kenya. Inclusivity, diversity, coalitions. Coalitions must be there. Zoning can't be terminated by the IBC because it forms the part of the coalition arrangements. One of the coalition arrangements is zoning. You can zone as the coalition, or you can decide not to do so. 2027 and forward, 2027, 2027 going forward, we are going to experience zoning like the structure between ODM and UDA. They can respect each other, that don't field any candidate in my region for me to support you. You vis-a-vis do not do the same as I'm supporting you. the future is zoning in the arrangement. And but I just want to appeal to the candidates. If you must run, first go and seek support from the political party you want to run for. Very, very much important. If the political party supports you, because the electorates, most of them do blend with the political parties of the regions. So first go and make yourself popular with the people, then go to political parties and try it so hard to have a good rapport so that when that time for nomination comes, either criteria will favor you.
Okay, thank you. Maybe you can update us before we give our final remarks. What is happening in the by-elections, which are supposed to be held in different constituencies and wards? What is the update in Malava constituency? What is the update in Kasipul? What is the update in Bere? I think those are one of the most which are most highly contested. What is the update? We are seeing some political differences within the political parties that are currently working together. And you can as well give us your remarks on the planned celebration by ODM, and then after that, you'll give us your final remarks.
Today I'll just give you updates on Kasipul Kabondo. That time we talked about Mbeere North into details, and I think it is on the videos. Our viewers can go and look for those people who are missing. But for those who are present, like my good friend Laban Musiani, understand that we exhausted the issue of Mbeere North very extensively. And today I'll just want to update our viewers on the Kasipul Kabondo because I was privileged today to do my own analysis from the ground. Before I delve into the issue of Kasipul Kabondo, first I want to appreciate the celebration of ODM at 20. It has been a very quite long journey as a party. They have tried, in my view, because they have been trying to defend the human rights, democracy, constitutionalism, and rule of law for a quite long time. And it's right now they have reached 20. We just appeal to the founder members to go back and reflect what they have been standing for as a party so that they should relook at the current arrangement and give more advice or more experts to assist the current regime so that Kenyans can succeed entirely all. When President Ruto succeeds, I'm happy because my president, my country has succeeded. But when President Ruto fails, I'm sad because my country, my president has failed. Remember, William Ruto is the president of the entire country. He is the president of the Republic of Kenya. We wish him to succeed so that we can have a better country. We pray for him. We wish him good health, good energy, and good synergy. As one of the founders of ODM, I think he's going to be celebrating in Mombasa. 10th to 12th, they will be there. We will be following online, and we are able to say that that's how political parties should be, even if people are leaving, but the values and the foundation, the structure should remain for posterity. And that's why I was saying they should rebrand it. And the millennial and the Gen Z, we join ODM. We will join it when they rebrand it. And in the next few months, like I promised my friend Douglas Kibogong, not Douglas Laban Musiani, you will see me at Orange House with the chairperson Gladys Wanga receiving certificate for nomination. And there's nothing wrong because if they convince me, I will join them as a political party. The issue of Kasibu Kabondo now, I want to give you a very raw information, very raw, because I also consume it raw. We had people in ODM. We had people like Body Were. We had people like Ogada. We had people like Ejombota. We had people like Aroko. Aroko left for independent. And now, currently in ODM, we got 5 candidates who are looking for the party ticket. On the other hand, we got several independent candidates, Aroko being one of them, Philip, Manibior being one of them, and also Sam Otiende being one of them. Sam Otiende is coming from Odoyo Obidi's place, the Kowedi location. Manibior and Aroko are coming from Sikri. It's like they are going to split. The good news is Ajombota is coming from West Kasipul, one candidate, but is unpopular. Boyd Were is coming from West Kamagak with other 2 candidates. We have seen people investing in these campaigns. Initially, people like Aroko were having money, but as times comes, we find out that when times comes, we find out that there are so many people with money in this country. Money Bior is having money more than Aroko. Sam Otiende is also a wealthy man. So there is nothing like money going to compete here. Here is game shot. The game shot here is like how he told Mato Makandet. If you get Mato Makandet in this platform, tell him to prepare a big lunch because the next Kasipul Kabondo member of parliament is the son to the deceased Boyd Were on ODM ticket. That one I bet. Now let him bring that lunch that day. Makubura, if you meet him anywhere, tell him to prepare big lunch because that guy is going to be declared the winner. The reason is these independent candidates have refused to decline to support one candidate. They have split votes. Now the party is having one candidate. And these other 4 people are going to submit to Boyd Were. I think that's how we are going to win it. Back to you.
Give your comment on Douglas' view first before you give us your last remarks. Douglas, as today you said that sometimes back we were this, now is on another level.
Douglas Kevogong is a good buddy for your for the information. Douglas Kevogong is a good person, and I like Douglas because Douglas has been here, unlike other people. Douglas has been pro Totam and Laban Misiani, but they have been here with us. And some people could have got bored. Some people could have been like, "You guys, you are biased. You can't. Why can't you even praise Ruto?" But today I've said I'm praying for him. He is my president. I wish him good health, good energy, and I want him to succeed for my country. So he has said, I want to acknowledge Douglas Kibong, and by the way, Douglas Kibong and Laban Mseni are good people, by the way, because they allow the liberal thinking. There are people, once you don't mention Raila, then that's how your friendship ceases. Until that time, you'll praise Raila. But I like the 2 guys, and also thank you for that acknowledgement. And we are praying so hard we improve day by day. Thank you for that compliment. And Wamunyoro, we were not there. We haven't been to Wamunyoro because Wamunyoro is the person who told, you remember? He told us that ameweka mtego kila mahali ukiingia hapa. So we haven't been there. And also remember when we were demonstrating at Feather, the 7 bullets or the 9 bullets that were shot at Raila's car, and also you remember the way we were not allowed to come to the CBD during ODM demonstration. So Wamunyoro also did us very wrong things when he was deputy president, and we are pointed out here. He did us very many bad things. We were unable to access CBD the peaceful demonstration was not permitted by Wamunyoro. But look at the way he's being handled. He's being handled with a lot of freedom because they have allowed him to politic. No one is harassing him. So he should learn. Wamunyoro should learn, by the way, that whenever you're dealing with your opponent, you should not be wicked to that extent. Because one day you might be outside, like now, right now, they haven't arrested him. They are not even trailing him. What they used to do to peaceful protesters. So I think he has learned a lesson, and this is politics. I've promised my brother Douglas Kibogok that do not be surprised when you see me with the chairperson for ODM, Gladys Wanga, at Orange House. So, Marco Bura, see you next time. Bye bye, everyone.
Maybe you'd have told our good friend Laban Misiani that we're also waiting for a comment similar to this from the one that we've just received from Douglas. And Douglas is saying, I love your fluent English and eloquence. Your political analysis is not nowadays biased. Miguda, ulikonga pro wa Munyoro ama Douglas anasema nini?
I think one day we'll meet the Douglas. Douglas, I think when I'll be in Eldoret, or when you'll be around in Eldoret, maybe you are around in the country, you make arrangement, we meet one-on-one so that you can understand that if you cut my vein, there is no Wamunyoro in my blood. There haven't been since the concept of this world. Personally, I voted for Raila in 2022. I voted for Raila in 2017. I've been a pro Raila. Actually, Raila had been my hero politically because I came to politics in 2007 when I was in primary. That started following politics. Raila has been my hero. The 2007 election, 1370. So I've been supporting him. Even him where he is seated right now, if you ask him, he will tell you that this guy is my guy, because there are times we have met, there are times we have had issues with the party politics of the ODM, because even me, I have relatives who are in ODM. I have relatives who are elected in ODM. So I can say the party has also done us good to sponsor some of my relatives to the county assembly, to sponsor some of my relatives to parliament. So there is no issue, absolutely no issue between me, Raila, and ODM. The only thing I've said that I'm not a live member, but I'm considering doing that very soon. But not that I've been to Wamunyoro. That one is not here or there.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr.
Bakura,
Miguda.
let me conclude something here to Douglas to understand very well. Douglas, sometimes the problem is, as an political analyst, you find yourself in a situation whereby you must respond to the question the way it has been asked by the host. Because the host sometimes might want, the intention of the host is to find whether Rigathi Gachagua was properly impeached, whether the rights were infringed or not. But so you cannot just lie, because remember the nature of our viewers. We have the pro Wamunyoro, we have the pro Tutam, and you just have to base your analysis on the realistic view. So sometimes you might analyze to a point whereby you accommodate. So if we conclude, okay, you are just leaning to Wamunyoro, because Wamunyoro is a Kenyan, he got rights, he got freedom, That's why he was treated in the Senate with dignity. So I think that's how sometimes you can confuse that today Mikuda is Wamunyoro, now today is Ruto, but it depends on the nature of the question. Makubura, me, I'm gone. Bye bye. See you tomorrow, guys. Makubura, it's like we have left. We need to have come to close the show. If I could have read the comment section, I could have been going on. But okay, you are back. Laban has said you'll host him soon. Prepare that arrangement. Make for a Laban arrangement. Miguda, we knew that's why we were consistent. You will join us back. Welcome back home. Laban Misiani. Laban Misiani. Laban Misiani, this is now politics. When I'm entering the ring, you understand, you must you must swim with the waves of that particular region. Don't worry, don't worry.
Okay, thank you so much. Allow me to say a big thank you to Laban Misiani. Thank you so much. Our good friend Douglas Kibogong. Thank you so much. And everyone who joined us this evening, I want to take this opportunity to say a big thank you. And especially to those of you who commented and engaged us at the comment section. We don't take it for granted. If you are watching us for the first time, kindly like and subscribe to the channel. It is a way of supporting us, na ukifanya hivyo sisi hapa tutasema ni asante. I want to take now this opportunity to wish you all a blessed night, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening from wherever you're watching us from. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. See you again tomorrow. Bye bye.